treasurer will also be the Honorable Leonard Murray. Also on the ballot for a member at large will be Chanel Autry. That completes the nominations committee report. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Are there any questions to the chair of nominations? I see no questions. Thank you so much to the nominations committee. We will now move to the report of the elections committee presented by its chair, Marlon Primes. Mr. Primes, please proceed.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marlon Primes. I'm a past president of the National Bar Association. I'm an assistant U.S. attorney in Cleveland. It's an honor to serve as your chair of the election committee. I was asked to serve by our illustrious president and certainly agreed to do so to assist her and the NBA. This year, since we moved to a virtual convention, we had to revamp all of our election rules. So we convened the election committee, and we got input from a variety of sources to make sure these new election rules were appropriate and had buy-in from the appropriate individuals, such as our president, NBA staff and members, our NBA general counsel, Taya Grays, our election vendor, John Bodine of Elections Trust, our secretary, Ashley Upkins, the VP for Regions and Affiliates, chair of the nomination committee, Kim Kendricks, and current and former members of the NBA election committee. The next part of our process, after we determined that there needed to be changes to accommodate a virtual convention, was making sure that there was adequate notice of our changes. So we sent out emails to all of our members regarding the changes to the election process. We also drafted frequently asked questions, which contained issues that members may have about the election process, and those were sent out via email and posted on the NBA website. The qualifications that were determined, that are in the frequently asked questions for voters, are as follows. You must have been registered to vote by July 15th. And that required you registering for the NBA convention and paying the full access fee of $250 and also paying your annual NBA dues. In terms of affiliates, for them to be able to vote, they had to pay their designated chapter dues, complete the certification, designating the appropriate number of chapter officers and members that are current members of the NBA, and obtain certification by NBA Secretary Ashley Upkins. As I said before, we went out of our way to draft rules to provide notice. Our frequently asked questions are on the NBA website. We sent multiple emails in that regard. The committee also has fielded questions via email and via telephone. We provided the frequently asked questions to our NBA General Counsel, provided those to our Board of Governors, and we sent reminder emails to affiliates that in order to be eligible, they had to have the correct combination of officers and members that were members of the NBA. And also we worked very closely with our election vendor, Election Trust. Now, just to go over the confirmation, is that a letter was sent to all voters indicating with their election pin on July 20, 2020. If you have not received that email, you will also receive a email with an election pin from Election Trust. And that will be when the election window opens on July 28th, 2020. The chapters will receive certification and their election pin in the same method via email indicating the election pin. The particular times to vote that are noted in the frequently asked questions are 10 a.m. to 1 for voters. If there's a runoff necessary, you will receive notice at 4 p.m. and the election runoff will be 4:30 to 6. Chapter voting for affiliates will be at 2 p.m. to 3:30. And if there's a runoff, their voting will follow the voting of the individual members. If there are problems regarding voting, and again, this is contained on the frequently asked questions, you can send an email to Election Trust at help@electiontrust.com. If there are questions regarding voting eligibility, you can contact me, Marlon Primes, the election chair, at marlon.primes@gmail.com. This is also contained on the frequently asked questions. If there's a question regarding chapter certification, contact MBA Secretary Ashley Upkins at secretary@nationalbar.org. Please, 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 since this is the first time we have done virtual voting, we are asking all members to vote as early as possible in the election window, the respective election window, so that we can address any election problems. So if you are an individual voter, please vote within that first hour so we can deal with any problems that may arise. We're asking affiliates to vote as early as possible during their election window so that we can work through any particular problems that occur. Again, I want to thank our president, our officers, and of course the great members of our election committee. They certainly went above and beyond the call of duty, and special mention to Cheryl Wood of our election committee who drafted our frequently asked questions. Madam President, that concludes my report unless there are any other questions. Thank you. We enjoyed serving you and enjoyed serving the National Bar Association. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and your committee. You really had to go out of your way this year because you had to pivot from a live and then go to a virtual. I do see that there are questions. I believe there is a question from Ms. Dulip. Will you please proceed with your question? Ms. Dula, I'm not sure we can hear you. So we will.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you so much.
Okay. So I'm reaching out because there were people that registered after July 15th and they paid their dues and they would like to vote. And it would seem that it would be against the bylaws for those people to be barred from voting. I understand that we have limitations, but we don't have that many limitations that our members can't vote.
Is that a question directed to the chair?
Whoever would like to answer it.
Mr. Primes, would you like to answer about the date of the 15th of July? Please do.
Yes. As I indicated in my report, we obtained advice from the NBA General Counsel. We worked closely with the NBA board. And our concern is that we wanted to make sure that we were able to just certify all voters. And in order to do that in a virtual context, we had to have a date prior to the actual vote, because otherwise it would have been very difficult to have a fair and free election. Pursuant to that advice, we established July 15th as a deadline to register. There have been more than 10 emails sent out to members about this change. It's been on the NBA website. It's been distributed through our Vice President for Regions and Affiliates, Lenita Baker, and others to sections and divisions and regions and affiliates. It's been widely noticed to individuals that you would not be able to vote if you registered after July 15th. And my understanding is that's also been approved by the board as well.
I believe that the answer has been given. The board approved the date of July 15th so that we could comply with Iowa law. And that was done after much debate, and the board so voted. I see another hand, I believe, Ms. Matlock. Deborah Matlock, is that you? Yes, you may proceed.
Good morning, Madam President and all others. I have one point of clarification, which is please remind people that the times that have been stated in the virtual convention website are all Eastern Daylight Time. And so people need to adjust accordingly. I would hate for people to miss not only the voting, but also the sessions of the seminar. And that is not clear on the website.
Thank you so much. We will do that. Send out a notice. We tried to move all the times down so that our West Coast members would not have to get up so early. But thank you for that suggestion. As I understand it, there's a third participant. Eartha Johnson.
Thank you, Madam President. I am just trying to get Marlon to repeat his email address.
To repeat what?
His email address.
All right. Mr. Chair, Marlon Price, please repeat your email address.
Hi, Jean. Yes, my email address is marlon.primes@gmail.com. And all the emails that I mentioned in my report are contained in the frequently asked questions regarding the election that are on the NBA website.
Thank you very much. I believe past President Kim Keenan has her hands raised. You may proceed.
Can Scott and I do our report now? Because we are wanted and needed elsewhere. So if we could go to that, that would be amazing.
I'm sorry, we did not hear that. Yes.
I said it would be so amazing if Scott and I could do our report because we are needed elsewhere. And so we really need to get on to that.
Yes, we can. As at the beginning of the meeting, the body approved that we would do the nominations immediately at 12:30. So we're pushing along and we're going to try to get that done. Absolutely. And then Judge Thompson, I'm sorry, could you quickly make your point so we can get the co-chair's convention report done?
Is that Thomas, Judge Mary Maxwell Thomas?
Yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, I registered long ago and I believe I meet all the qualifications. I've gotten several emails, but nothing with any PIN number. And so I guess I should just be perhaps sending an email to Marlon.
Yeah, you could, but they are still coming. They are mailed. You will get an envelope and it'll say elections and the voting, and it will be a letter in there. So it's still coming. Look in your mail today. Thank you very much. Let's quickly move. Kim Keenan, can you and co-chair Scott Bolden, are you prepared to give your report? You all did an extraordinary job. It really, not only on the programmatic side, but the finance side. We would not be here without Kim Keenan, Scott Bolden, and also Ben Wilson. So please proceed. Past President Keenan.
Good morning or afternoon now, everyone. On behalf of the Washington Convention Committee, our Region 12, the whole Region 12 and our Washington affiliates, the Washington Bar and the Greater Washington Area Chapter GWAC, we are thrilled to have you in virtual Washington. As you know, this is our very first virtual convention, and we are so excited that so many of you, so many that really this is the equivalent of a live convention, that so many of you decided to participate us. We believe that this is the beginning of a great journey that will bring us to the forefront, not just in terms of our profession, but in terms of being able to reach all of our constituents and all of our supporters. Because we know that when you come to Washington, where you can see Black lives from space, we know that if Black lives are ever to matter in the way that they deserve to matter, then Black lawyers have to be front and center. And so I want to turn it over to my colleague to tell you the things that you really want to hear about the numbers, but we were blessed and we worked hard and we're proud of our results. Scott?
Hey, Kim, thank you very much. I have the greatest co-chair in the history of the NBA and Kim Keenan. And I thank you for your leadership and thank you for leading me when I wasn't available. Everything about this virtual convention, this new normal, is just so powerful to me. I mean, the fact that we're here, we're doing it virtually. None of us could ever imagine us doing a convention virtually until COVID-19 hit. And I just want to thank the NBA, our president, our board of directors, our members, and on behalf of Reed Smith, and who is a gold sponsor for this event, we're excited about it. The impact of the George Floyd matter on big law firms I've spoken publicly and privately about, but our organization, our firm is 1,000% behind Black Lives Matter. My global managing partner, Sandy Thomas, has given a message for the convention, but also ends his communications with all attorneys at Reed Smith worldwide with the term Black Lives Matter. And so it is a seminal moment. That being said, the numbers that you heard about earlier, roughly $475,000 raised. We had a budget goal of $300,000. A third to half of that has been collected already, and we expect the majority of that to be collected this week. That's a phenomenal number, given where we are and how this thing came together. But it wasn't just Kim Keenan and I. We had a powerful committee, including Madam President. I want to give a shout out to Wiley Adams, Johnine Barnes, Maurice Foster, Singleton McAllister. You heard Ben Wilson from Madam President earlier, and myself. We met regularly, and we just would not take no for an answer. And if you really think about it, given COVID-19 and George Floyd, while most law firms, and that was our goal, we wanted 1,000% support from large law firms as well as companies. We simply would not take no for an answer. But the reality is that if you think about it, while economically we may be holding on to money and money may be tight, ironically and practically, now more than ever, companies and law firms ought to be giving to the NBA. We have a mission, and the mission to eliminate systemic racism, to help our community get through COVID-19. There are no better reasons to not only give more now than before. And so while it was powerful and surprising that we exceeded our expectations, to me, it made a lot of sense, actually. And our message to those companies and big law firms, and you can go on the website and see, there are tens of or hundreds of sponsors that we just in our wildest dreams wouldn't believe would be giving to the NBA. So as stewards of that money, we've got to fulfill the mission that we sold those contributors and those sponsors. And we've got to continue to do what we've been doing for 100 years or more. And that is to protect Black people, to be social engineers, and to improve the quality of life of our communities of color on a daily basis. And so, Madam President, that concludes our report. And I thank you for the opportunity and the honor to be co-chair of the 95th virtual NBA convention. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We could
Thank
not
you.
have done it without you. So we thank you so much. And we know that we're in good shape. So if we could let you go, I know y'all have some other convention business you must do. We have hit the 1 o'clock mark. And in virtual, as we all learned, that means that there's another programming coming into this space. Our resolutions and our issues and resolutions chair could not be heard by me in this room and others, but she had presented it and others had been able to hear it. So we quite apologize, and we will take up the issues and resolutions again. We could see the display. They were all displayed there at our closing plenary on Wednesday. We will also present the strategic planning report of 2020 that was done by a great committee, got that done. And with that, since it is now 1 p.m., I declare the meeting concluded. Thank you so much.